Vijana Tubonge, brought to you by Shofco Sacco. Remember, this is the time to send in your question and we'll have our panelists who we are having the discussion with getting to respond to them. But now, even as we wait for you to type in the questions using the hashtag Vijana Tubonge on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram platforms, we will be receiving live questions from this live audience. And I'd love to start from this very end. And when you're given the microphone, please be as brief as possible. Ask your question, but start with your name. Twende kazi.
My name is Salma Twali from Dagoretti North. So mine is going straight kwa mwanadada wetu. Okay, I want to know the difference between economic inclusion and women economic empowerment. So this is direct to you, madam.
All right, thank you very much, and we can have the mic passed on to the next person right there. Yes, it's coming right there. Milo Arelu, I hope, Margaret, you've noted that question. There it goes, jitambulishe, alafu uliza swali lako.
Hello everyone. I'm Ojim David from Madare, Mashimoni Village. Back to Kiswahili. maybe what I can... my questions are maybe from my learned friend there. What are the benefits of financial literacy? Then number two, how can you recall financial literacy back to ground for people wa mashinani? Then number three, how will financial literacy help us as a common wananchi from the community? Because you normally know that pesa inaogopa kelele, pesa luorokoko, so that means that for you to have that money so that you can use it well, you have to know how you can schedule yourself so that you can have the money that you have to use it properly. Thank you.
All right, and even as we get to pass on the mic, I'd love to now take this to start with Margaret to respond to the question that has just been asked, directed to you.
It was Salma, right? Yeah. Okay, so you asked the difference between economic inclusion and empowerment. So inclusion, kukua included, basically. So that means in forums like this, where we're talking about financial matters, you're represented. There are a number of ladies. What will you get out of this forum? You'll get information, you'll get knowledge, and you'll also have access to opportunities and mentors. And when it comes to empowerment, a key thing about empowerment is information. So we're talking about knowledge on basic financial matters. We're talking budgeting, saving, investments. And another thing, how you empower someone financially, access to credit, and not just basic access to credit, but affordable credit. That means affordable in terms of how they'll access the money, how they'll be able to pay back the funds, and most importantly, affordable interest loans. So I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
All right, Professor, and
thank you. Our brother there who started by saying that ataongea na Kiswahili na nimeshukuru sana. Ameuliza benefits of financial literacy. Obviously, benefit number one, it will make you understand where do you get money from, how do you spend your money, and how do you want money to work for you at a later date. So financial literacy gives you what we call a platform to understand, one, where do you get this money from? Where do you generate this money from? How do you use this money? How will you be able to achieve your financial goal by using the lessons that you have learned from forums such as this? The other benefit is this: it will make you prioritize. Prioritize means you need to ask yourself, do I go for a car at this point in time, or do I go for a plot? Which one is more value adding? The third thing is that financial literacy, when you go for sessions like this, it will make you know who are your friends that you need to drop. Some of the friends that you have in your phone book are purely liabilities. They only call you when they want you to go ile gym ya mkono mmoja. You know, gym ya mkono mmoja. So if you realize that the friends that you have are those that belong or subscribe to gym ya mkono mmoja, you drop them. The other thing you need to ask yourself, when you go for financial literacy sessions, where do I invest my money? I'm so happy when I see Shofco Sacco here. If you want to get rich, if you want to create wealth, the place to be is to be in a circle like this. And I'll tell you, the second miracle from converting water into wine in Cana of Galilee is compound interest. When you make money in a circle like this, don't eat your dividends, capitalize. The problem with our people, when they make dividends, that is when they go for Jimmy and Mkono Mmoja. You never become rich. What you do, when dividends have been declared, you advise the circle, please do what? Plow back. Plow back. Because in a circle, they give you dividends every year. In a circle, they have what we call lower interest rates. In a circle, they are Fred rates. So once you come for financial literacy sessions like this, they will be able to give you what we call a very good ground to understand how to manage your money. And as I pass my baton to my brother here, I'll tell you this. One of the things that you must remember to become financially independent, no pain, no gain. Mtakasha mfuguni, sharti ya iname. Na mtegemea shaduguye, ufa maskini. Over to you, Mr. Robert.
Well, all right. Bwana Robert.
Yes, so I would say when you look at financial literacy, is the know-how on how to manage your money. And it's the only language that is spoken everywhere, globally. In each household, you know, people speak different languages in different countries, but when it comes to money, it is the same throughout the world. So first of all, it's important to learn money skills so that you can be able to know how to connect your personal life goals with your finances. Because if you don't know the connection between your money and your life goals, you know very well how it happens here in Africa. As your relatives will make good use of your money, sindio? Asubuhi umepata simu, mtu analia, they know how to manipulate you. But they're doing that because you have no plan with your money. So you can plan and say probably in a month, the highest you can give out is 1K or 2K. Then just learn to say no. Because I believe each of us here wait to be paid. You normally wait to be paid, right? So there's no one who should just sit somewhere and then demand money from you. So the skills will protect you and help with your journey, the goals that you have. If you want to go for home in December, you'll start saving now, whether it is 200 Kenya shillings per month or 500. So when you achieve your goals, it means that you are in line with your money and you're able to basically live the life that you desire. So the challenge with personal finance is that there's no supervisor. You know, in most things there are supervisors. So at work, you have the boss, right? When you are in business, the customers will be demanding things from you. But when it comes to personal finance, you are on your own. Whether you waste the money or not, you know. So because of that, you need to create self-discipline by having those skills. And the best teacher is doing, is not theory. So personal finance is not about motivation, telling you that you'll go to a certain planet. It's about starting that journey, opening the Sacco account, then you start. That is the best teacher. And that's why those who have figured it out, they have an unfair advantage. Hautasikia akipiga kelele ati sherehe ama nini, because they already planned for the sherehe, so it's natural and it's part of their life. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Robert. You say pia sherehe naweko kwa budget. Thank you. And now we move back to the live audience and to get some few more questions, maybe starting from this end.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Mimi naitwa Lamek Wanzere from Kenya. Sasa swali yangu iko hivi. Sasa benefit ya kati ya investment na saving, gani kona more benefit hapo hivyo?
All right, that is Lamek. Thank you. Pass the mic to the other end. There's a lady over there. Uliza swali yako.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Amrit Fever. First of all, I would like to thank Shofco Sacco for the platform inclusivity. So my question goes to the panel. I can't really remember the names, but I think the conversation was about finance, in other words. So I think in every financial platform, there should be a topic about employability or employment. So looking at the audience, most of us are youth, and I think the main problem is employment. So how can I engage in a financial literacy, or whatever, in the hard terms, financial hygiene, sanitization, if I don't even have employment to even begin with, although the topic is really spicy.
All right, thank you very much. Let's get another question right there before we go back to the panel to respond.
So thank you once more for Shofco Sacco platform. My questions are, how do one develop a business plan that work? The next one is, how can one identify a suitable business opportunity, and how can one know when a business is working or not? If you have a capital in terms of finance but do not really know how to invest it, how do you go about it? There are 3 questions.
All right, thank you very much. So we had the very first question that was concerning savings and investment, which is which. The second one goes to employability. How do we get there? And the last one asks regards to management of the business. How is it functional? Is it not functioning? And which are the best areas to venture in? Now to you, to the panel, starting off from Prof.
Thank you very much. There's a very big distinction between savings and investment. Saving is for the risk averse. Investment is for people who have what we call risk appetite. Savings is a situation whereby you identify, for instance, a commercial bank where you can be putting your money every month or periodically, that is. Because that is what we call putting money in a place where you can be able to access it during your own free time, but the element of return is very minimal. So that's what we call a savings. We talk about investment. Investment is where you put your money where the risk element is present, meaning if the investment is doing pretty well, it will earn you a lot of return on it. That's what we call an investment. So the difference between a savings and an investment, of course, a savings later on graduates to become an investment, but a savings is a safe haven or a place that you put your money where the return is a bit low. An investment is where you put your money where the return is purely speculative, meaning sometimes it can go up, it can come down, but the beauty is that the return on an investment sometimes can be very, very nice and can take you to another level. So there's a distinction between savings and investment. Allow me, maybe before my other colleagues answer, I had my son, because that is my son. My firstborn daughter is 29 years, so that must be my son. He asked, we appreciate this financial literacy session, but I don't have a job. I have been telling my students when I'm teaching them, we want you people to graduate from what we call being job seekers to job creators. The richest man in the world, starting with Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, who is the founder of Facebook, he dropped from the campus on the 2nd year. The wealthiest man in the world, Mr. Warren Buffett, has never maybe seen the inside of a university. Let me tell you, Mr. Bill Gates was invited to go to Harvard University. When students were being admitted, he refused. He said, invite me when they are graduating, I give them jobs. Meaning that he had no feeling of what a university was. So one of the things that we need to embrace is to say, whatever money, wherever you get your money from, whether you have worked as a laborer, wherever you are, we want you to make sure that the money that you get as payment is converted to become what we call a springing board to your next level financially. So you don't have, white-collar jobs are no longer there. Let's be very honest with us. We have got very few people graduating from universities and getting daily jobs. So one of the things that you must do, take a complete departure from saying that you did a Bachelor of Science in Actuarial Science from JKUAT, and you're looking for a job of doing statistics, or Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Your age, you hit 60, having not gotten a job. So the thing is, first of all, drop the qualifications and pursue money, because money is the currency of life today. When you go to any supermarket, they don't ask you, are you a prof? Are you a doctor? No, they ask you, where is the money? So the language of communication is what? I don't present myself to a supermarket and because I'm a prof and I have graduated 11 times, they give me merchandise. They don't give me merchandise. The question is, where is the money? They don't even want to know whether I'm Professor Kebisho, whether I'm, by the way, I'm a lawyer, whether I'm Wakili Kebisho. They're not interested. So the best thing to do, my son, there, we appreciate that you are looking for a job. But meanwhile, before the job comes your way, can you be engaged in a gainful employment? Hakuna ubaya ukitengeneza chapati. I've been meeting some people making chapatis and they make money. I've met men and women, young men and women, in the construction sites. So first of all, you must remove this element of discriminating the career or maybe the job that you want to do to make money.
All right. And now to Margaret.
Okay. Just to add on what Prof has said about investments and savings. So it's all about agenda. When you're investing, you want to get income out of it. You'll put your money somewhere, it will give you income. So when you're investing, that's the aim. You want to get money out of it. So you'll either use that money to fuel your needs or for other expenses or another investment, sorry. And when it's savings, you're putting money aside for future use. So under savings, we have things like emergency fund, life insurance, and maybe for other just expenses that are maybe big that you can't directly cater for them. Example, when you're saving for a house, or even to buy a car, or even to travel. So that's the difference. The thing is, you need to have both for, again, balance. You need to invest so that you get more income, and you need to save to caution yourself from emergencies and also save for future expenses. Let me touch on businesses. So how to create a business plan that works. You're basically answering a number of questions. What do you want to sell? Because you're selling either a product or a service. Where do you want to do this? Are you doing it online or physically? If it's physical, what's the particular location that you're doing it at? When do you want to start? What's the time period? Are you starting in 5 months? Are you starting tomorrow? And what period is your business going to run? How are you going to do this? What is the process? So one, maybe you'll start looking for funding and then looking for a location. And lastly, how much? How much will it cost and how will you access the funds? So basically when you're coming up with a business plan, those are the questions you're trying to answer. And then you asked, how do you identify a business opportunity? First thing, it's good that you know you want to identify a business opportunity. So you're more aware, okay? So when you're walking outside, when you're associating with your neighbors, your friends, your family, you can easily identify a problem they have. Because a business solves a problem. When you solve someone's problem, they give you money. That's how you generate income for your business. So being aware so that you can identify problems that people or other businesses are facing. Second, there's money in money. Every time you give someone money for their business, there's an opportunity you can look at, you can find. That's why I'm saying there's business in money. You've given someone money to buy clothes. There's also an opportunity. Because if you can spend your money in a business, you can definitely get money from that area. And lastly, your question was how to know if a business is working or not. So your business can be for profit or just to give back and to help. And you know if your business is working, if you're getting your main aims, whether it's profit or to help out the society. That's why we have something called KPIs, Key Performance Indicators. Hizo ndio vitu zinakusaidia kujua biashara yako inaendeleaje. Let me give an example of the business I run. We offer financial products and services. My KPIs are how many products are sold. That's how I'll know how the business is, whether it's working or not. How many people am I able to reach? How many people am I able to offer my services? So look at your business. What do you want to achieve? And how can you measure what you want to achieve? And that's how you'll know whether your business is working or not. Yes, over to you, Robert.
Wow, great insights. I'm learning too. So I think on saving and investing, what you need to know about saving, first it happens in your mind. You have to make a decision that the money that is going to come home tomorrow, you're going to set aside part of it. If you don't make that decision, the money might come and disappear. So you have to make that decision. And I would say saving is a teacher. I'll emphasize on that. The moment you are used to setting money aside, it becomes natural. Whether it is 1,000 Kenya shillings per month or 500, you know, you get used to it. Then now you can look at investing opportunities like Shofco Sacco, where you are putting that money and then at the end of the year, you get some returns. And if you leave it there, it will keep growing. So that is when we say now your money is working for you. So an investment is like an extra hand that you have that is working on your behalf, because you can only be at so many places at so many times. So it's important that the money also works for you, and over time it grows. So when it comes to employment, actually career development is also part of personal finance. Career development and entrepreneurship, because most people either get money from the business or their professional career. So what we said about money is a byproduct of social capital, who you know and how they know you, and what you can do for people. So always build the skill sets. If you have a business, your WhatsApp status is a very powerful tool. So you'll find people sharing a lot of stuff on their WhatsApp status except their own business. Yet some of us, like personally, when I share on my WhatsApp status, I get a lot of business. And so what I do, I request people, friends, relatives to also share, and I get opportunities. So look at what we call also social capital. Grow it. The more you grow it, the more you talk to people that you are with in school, people around you, the more they are likely to have you in mind when the opportunities come up. But it's important to arm yourself with financial knowledge before you get the money. It's just like you know maths, right? Or English or Swahili. You learn it as a tool of trade. You don't have to wait for an opportunity to talk to someone to learn about a language, right? You learn it in advance. So because of that, you need to learn about financial education, financial skills, which most of us, I got to learn it much later when I was in employment, and I did some very big money mistakes and had to sober up. So it's important to learn it at a young age, because currently the median age in Kenya is about 20. So it means that most people are young, so you need to get these skills, but work very hard on social capital, which is not the number of friends that you have. It is the quality. You know, like if you pick your phone book, how many people can you call and get some sort of insights from knowledge, information on what is happening? Those are the people who can actually help you get employment. So work on quality, and also ensure that even your CV, get someone to help you write it. If you don't know how to express yourself, learn all those skills, whether it is in business. You can find those that if you go to buy something from them, you'll never go back again. So that person, their business might collapse. They have the business, but lack of social skills would affect that. And also relationships. Like there are people that if you lend money to, I could say there are friends that are worth probably 500 or 1,000. If you give them 500, they'll never talk to you again. So it means that such people, they'll not get a lot of opportunities, because once we are not talking, I'll never let you know of any opportunity. So it's very, very important to build yourself and be patient, have a long-term view, be positive, talk to your friends who already have jobs, friends who are in business, because they're likely to give you ideas on how they're able to achieve their goals. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Robert. And probably now taking it back to the audience for the last round of questions. There's this gentleman right here. We can start. There's also that lady right there. Let's start with that lady up there for ease of passing the microphone, even as we get these questions. Tumesema leo hapa mambo ni matatu. You either learn, get new ideas, or get out of here knowing how to manage your finances. I think the microphone is right there. Okay, proceed and ask your question.
I'm George Onyango. Swali langu ni, assume uko kwenye sacco, na hii sacco haipeani dividend at the end of the year, as well huwezi pewa loan, you can only be given loan ndogo ya less than 50,000. What advice can I get from you? Nitoke kwenye hiyo sacco niende at another sacco, or should I stick keeping on saving on the same sacco?
Sijapata jina lako?
George Onyango.
Amazing. Okay. Yes.
So, good evening everyone. My name is Joe Gola, and I have 3 questions. The first one is, let's call a spade, not a big spoon. So, my first question is, like with the current state of the economy, there are, let's say, youths. You talked of leakages on spending. So there are so many youths who are living hand to mouth. Now, for such a youth, is there an opportunity for investment? My second question is that you've talked about investing and like investing it to good places. When Professor was talking, you mentioned something to deal with assets and liabilities. So, at our age, which is the best assets we can invest in? Because when we look at several investments, there are real estate, there are technological things such as WorldCoin, which have come about. And my third question is, you talked about mentorship. Now, who are the best mentors in terms of now financial literacy and stuff? Because we as youth, we can't go to anyone just anyone as a mentor. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Let's have that microphone passed.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Abel, and I have a question on savings and growing money. So I'll start by saying that at times I feel discouraged to save because take this scenario. Assuming I had a 1,000 that I saved in 2020, right now that the purchasing power, the power of that 1,000 shilling has depreciated. So how do I ensure that I'm able to protect the money that I'm saving from depreciating?
All right, thank you very much for that question right there. Maybe we can start with Robert to respond to that.
Yes, so I would say in terms of investment asset classes, the easiest one, like in this room, I would say start with like Shofco Sacco, since they'll give you some returns, and it will also help you to be consistent and you are familiar with it. So I always say that the most important thing is the discipline to decide that in the next 3 or 6 months, this is what I'm going to do. Because there are a lot of distractions. And you'll find I have some friends who are always experts on everything that is new. So me, I usually have a goal whereby anything new, at least 1 year, I'll like assume it doesn't exist. Because you can see even if it is mobile phone, the first one were used first in Kenya in 1999. So whether you used it in the first 2 years or less, it doesn't matter now, right? Everyone has it. So the same with M-Pesa, right? So it's always good to wait, but decide on what you are familiar with and be consistent, because the distraction will always come. Each and every new year, something new will come up. But the discipline of just being consistent will be very rewarded. So start with that as an asset class. And technology is supposed to, man is the one to control technology, not the other way around, right? So you're not supposed to get into debt because debt is easily available. It's about you looking at your goals, what you want to achieve, and then you go to look for a solution. So let's take an example where you are setting aside 500 Kenya shillings per month, right? At the end of the day, you'll have 6,000. So your friends will think that you are very rich, but it's just because you are consistent. Probably for them, they've spent much more on other things. So that's something that we encourage, and is a habit that you have to build. We can talk about it, but at the end of the day, you have to be very intentional. Yeah. So the other thing on saving, you talked about being discouraged. So I'll say that doing actually encourages you more than anything else. Doing and being consistent. If you save consistently in a circle, for example, and they're giving you 10%, let's say you started in 2020, your 1,000, it will be up by over 30%. So it will at least preserve the purchasing power that you have. So it's very, very important to learn that the reason why those who are successful, they keep succeeding is because doing is the best teacher. But when you overanalyze, you overthink, you'll always be prevented from action. You'll always have what you call inaction, and you have a lot of vibes. You know, that people always have 1,001 ideas. They're very exciting in terms of ideas, but they'll never get anything done. So that's why I encourage you to find something like a circle, then you start doing, and it keeps pushing you to do even more. Because when you have 1,000, you'll have ideas on how to push it for 1,500, 2,000, like that, and you keep going.
All right, thank you, Robert. Now, Margaret.
George, you raised an issue you have with your circle. First, before you put your money anywhere, you have to have an agenda with it. I'm putting my money here so that eventually I can get a loan. I'm putting my money here so that I can save for A, B, C, or D. So I think, according to my knowledge, all circles give dividends, and they give loans times a number of either 2 or 3 of your contribution, or you have to have a guarantor. So you need to maybe communicate with your circle and just raise these issues and find out. And another important thing, you have right over your money. Wherever you're putting your money at, whether it's the bank, an MMF, or a circle, you have the right to call and ask these questions. Pesa ni yako at the end of the day, you're the client. Call, ask these questions. I need a loan, how should I go about that? What's your interest rate? How do I withdraw money and all that? You need to call and find out about who's in charge of your money. So you need to maybe call this circle, get this information, and if it's not serving you the way you want it to serve you, I believe you have a right to leave and find an institution that's serving you how you need to be served, right? Yes. And lastly, Abel, I like how you phrased about money losing value. So the thing is, look at the current inflation rate. For example, if it's 9%, right? Wherever you put your money in, the interest rate should be more than the inflation rate. Otherwise, your money will lose value, okay? And that's why it comes in. Wherever you're putting your money in, find out. Call these people, ask, what's your interest rate? Does it change? How does it change? But when you ensure you're putting your money where the interest rate is more than the inflation rate, your money won't lose its value. Yes.
All right, thank you. And Prof?
Let me answer Mr. Joe Ogola for the 3 good questions. Mr. Ogola, you have raised a very important question, that the current youth of 21st century is hard to mouth. You must remember that if the income is not sufficient, think of other avenues that you can use to create more. Because the only way you can create more is by, as I said, you exert your brains, your energy, and time. You can use your phone. You become a content creator, and you start making some money. They have been seeing the youth using what we call TikTok only to show us how they can dance. We are not interested in dancing. Ask yourself, what is it that you can do, and you make a coin out of that TikTok? Am I right? The other thing is even YouTube, because you are actually spending money hard to mouth because it is not enough. So then how do you increase that? Increase another source of income. The poorest of them all is the one who relies on one source of income, including me. I do 10 things. So starting here, seated here, I do 10 things. I'm a lecturer in university, I'm a lawyer, I'm a consultant, I'm an artist. By the way, I'm the youngest gospel artist in the Republic of Kenya. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you find me there singing gospel music, and I'm still making it. So the other thing, so Mr. Ogora, my brother Joe Ogora, make sure that you identify another stream of income. Investment opportunities for young people. And you talked about assets, and which is the best assets for you at this point in time. You may not be able not to buy a piece of land requiring 1 million or 2 million because the income is not that much. So you can be able to identify what we call the blue chip companies. Blue chip companies are those companies that post good returns for investors. You can buy shares there. We have got various types of shares we don't have time to explain, but you can also preserve your wealth by continued purchase of what we call shares. Eventually, you'll get enough money that can warrant you to enter into real estate and do other things with your money. Finally, mentorship, because of time. Mentorship. If you go, nowadays, everything is provided for in the Google. I can tell you, we are all over. We have been mentoring people from all over the world. So what you do, how do you identify a mentor? You don't even have to go to Nairobi City Center. Identify even one from where you come from. If somebody is doing better than you, you need to ask yourself, how come Margaret has a car, Margaret has a home of her own, and Margaret is taking her children to group of schools? Identify her, approach her. She can't swallow you the way you are anyway. So even if she was not, you can only look for what you call an avenue of reaching her. Then you can tell her, I would like you to mentor me. And of course, you can even use our numbers and text to us. We can be able to give you what you call good mentors. Mentors must always be ahead of you. If you want to fly high, like Kikos, I said, stop moving around with the pigeons. Identify people who are doing much better than you and refer to them as your mentors.
All right. And now, Prof, you have 1 minute for your parting shot, even as we conclude this conversation for today.
My parting shot to my young youths: organize now or agonize later.
Well, that was brief and straight. That was brief and straight to the point. Your parting shot, Margaret?
Mine is, in as much as we look up to the government and NGOs, at the end of the day, your own personal finances is your responsibility. No one will come from I don't know where and deal with your financial situation. So you have to decide to show up, sacrifice, put in the work for your own growth, for your own financial health.
All right, thank you. And Robert now.
Yeah, so for me, I'll just encourage you to continue investing in the skills that you have. If you're a plumber, continue being good at it so that when you have issues, we can call you. You know, there are people that when you call them, you'll never call them back again. So improve your skills and also social capital. I'll really encourage that. So marafiki oma vibes too, you can get rid of them. Have friends that can take you to the next level. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Robert, and thank you to each and every one of you panelists for creating time and for the very insightful conversation that we've had right here. Also, thank you to the very amazing live audience we've had right here, very interactive, asking questions that we hope have been successfully addressed, and also to you who is watching this program from right there back home. Today we were hosted by Shofco right here in Kibra. Next week, Mombasa to Asija, we'll be having that conversation, na tutazungumzia maneno mengine mengi tunapokuja mji wa Mombasa, na ili kukumbuka kwamba kipindi kizima ni Vijana Tubonge, bila shaka addressing all other issues that affect and are at the heart of the livelihood of the youth. But even as we wait, as we part, remember, continue sending your comments to the number, SMS number 20845. And right there, you'll get prompted to give your details, and most definitely, you'll get your concerns addressed in regards to the interest you have when it comes to Shofco Sacco. And also, remember, anytime, reach out on the social media platforms at using the hashtag Vijana Tubonge, and most definitely, we'll get to respond to them, even as we look forward to next week's show. Thank you for joining me. I've been yours, David Kagina. Have a lovely weekend.